Some people spend years believing their life would finally become better if the people around them would simply change. They want their spouse to behave differently. They want their parents to understand them. They want their friends to make better decisions. They want their children to listen. They want their boss to recognize their value. So they keep explaining, advising, correcting, reminding, and arguing. But years pass, and nothing really changes. The people around them remain the same, while they become exhausted, frustrated, and resentful. Here is the truth you need to accept. You cannot fix another person. You can encourage someone. You can support them. You can tell them the truth. You can offer advice when they ask for it. But you cannot make another adult change. And every hour you spend trying to control somebody else's life is an hour you are taking away from your own. Think about the people you have been trying to change. How long have you been doing it? 1 year? 5 years? 10 years? Now ask yourself an uncomfortable question. What has actually changed because of all your effort? If the honest answer is not much, then it is time to stop. People don't change simply because you want them to. They change when they decide they want something different. You could give someone the best advice in the world, but if they are not ready to act on it, your words will not transform them. You can give them books. You can have serious conversations. You can explain the consequences. You can love them deeply. But ultimately, the decision belongs to them. Real change begins inside the person making the change. Think about your own life. The biggest changes you have made probably happened because something inside you finally said, enough. I need to do something differently. Maybe nobody forced you. Maybe nobody gave you the perfect speech. Maybe you simply reached a point where you wanted something different badly enough to act. That is how change works. And the same rule applies to everyone else. You cannot manufacture another person's readiness. You cannot force someone to become the person you believe they should be. So stop carrying that responsibility, because there is another uncomfortable truth. Trying to fix everyone else can become a way of avoiding yourself. As long as you are focused on your spouse's mistakes, you don't have to examine your own. As long as you are criticizing your friend's decisions, you don't have to think about the decisions you are avoiding. As long as you are angry about what your parents did wrong, you don't have to ask yourself what you need to heal or improve. Fixing other people can feel productive. You are busy. You are thinking. You are talking. You are planning. You are emotionally exhausted. But none of that necessarily means you are moving your own life forward. Sometimes the easiest way to avoid your own work is to become obsessed with somebody else's. So imagine what would happen if you took all that energy and redirected it towards yourself. What if you spent that energy improving your health? What if you focused on your career? What if you built your business? What if you improved your finances? What if you developed your discipline? What if you learned something new? What if you finally worked on the goals you have been postponing for years? 5 years from now, your life could look completely different. But only if you stop spending those 5 years trying to control someone else's life. And there is another reason you need to stop fixing people. Because constant correction doesn't always feel like love to the person receiving it. You may think you're helping. You may believe you're being supportive. You may say, I'm only telling you this because I care. But the other person may hear something completely different. They may hear, you are not good enough. You need to change. I don't accept you as you are. I am constantly measuring you against the person I think you should become. Imagine living with that message every day. Eventually, even a loving relationship can become exhausting. Nobody wants to feel like a project. Nobody wants to feel like they are constantly being evaluated. And nobody wants to spend every conversation defending who they are. This doesn't mean you should ignore serious problems. It doesn't mean you should tolerate disrespect, abuse, dishonesty, or destructive behavior. It means you need to understand the difference between accepting someone's right to choose their life and allowing their choices to control your life. You can love someone without trying to control them. You can care about someone without taking responsibility for their decisions. You can tell someone the truth once without spending the next 10 years trying to force them to accept it. That is maturity. And sometimes, the most powerful influence you can have is simply to become an example. Instead of constantly telling people what they should do, start doing the things you wish they would do. Want your family to become healthier? Start taking care of yourself. Want your friends to become more disciplined? Become more disciplined. Want people around you to take responsibility? Take responsibility for your own life. Want others to become calmer? Learn to control your own reactions. People may ignore your advice, but they often notice your example. And when they see you changing without demanding that they change, something interesting can happen. The pressure disappears. They no longer feel attacked. They have room to think for themselves. Maybe they change. Maybe they don't. But either way, you have stopped wasting your life trying to control something you never owned. That is freedom. When you stop fixing everyone, you get your energy back. You stop waking up thinking about what someone else needs to do. You stop replaying arguments in your head. You stop planning the next conversation. You stop wondering how to say the same thing for the 100th time in a slightly different way. And suddenly, your mind becomes quieter. You have more time. You have more focus. You have more peace. You begin enjoying people again because you're no longer constantly analyzing them. And something else happens. People begin revealing themselves more clearly. Some people will grow when you stop pushing them. Others will stay exactly where they are. And that's valuable information, because now you can stop guessing. You can see the relationship for what it really is. Then you can decide what boundaries you need. You can decide how much time and energy you want to invest. You can decide whether the relationship is healthy for you. But that decision is different from trying to control the other person. You are responsible for your choices. They are responsible for theirs. You don't have to carry both. So today, think about the people you have been trying to fix. Name them honestly. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's a parent. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a sibling. Maybe it's your child. Ask yourself, have they actually asked me to help them change? If they haven't, step back. Give them space. Stop repeating the same advice. Stop trying to manage their decisions. Stop making their growth your personal responsibility. And then take that energy and bring it home. Bring it back to yourself. Work on your habits. Work on your character. Work on your goals. Work on your health. Work on your finances. Work on your peace. Build a life that doesn't depend on everyone around you becoming different, because you have one life. And you don't know how much time you have left. Don't spend your limited years trying to redesign other people. You cannot control who they become, but you can control who you become. You can become stronger. You can become wiser. You can become calmer. You can become more disciplined. You can become more focused. You can become someone you genuinely respect. And perhaps the greatest surprise is this. When you finally stop trying to change everyone else, you may discover that your own life starts changing faster than you ever imagined. Not because everyone around you changed, because you did. So let people be responsible for their own lives. Let them make their choices. Let them learn from their consequences. Let them grow at their own pace. And if they ever come to you genuinely asking for help, be there for them. But until then, don't carry what isn't yours. You are not responsible for fixing everybody. You are responsible for becoming the best version of yourself that you can become. So put your attention back where it belongs. Stop trying to fix everyone. Stop trying to control everyone. Stop waiting for everyone else to become different before you allow yourself to be happy. Start building your own life today. Because the person you have the greatest power to change has been with you all along. It's you. And once you understand that, you stop fighting battles you were never meant to fight. You stop carrying people who were never yours to carry. You stop wasting years trying to change what you cannot control. And you finally become free to build a life that is actually yours.